Hello everybody and welcome to the Adventures of Drawing. I'll draw a little scene for you using a variety of pencils, a smudging tool and an eraser. So without further ado, let's dive right into this, shall we? Okay, today I am going to draw a view down a street with a couple of houses, and I'm trying some. It's going to be an experiment on perspective, and I'm just going to wing this. Not sure how it's going to work out. Okay, let me again get rid of the upper line right here. Maybe next time I'll remember to not even draw it, so I don't have to deal with that. But it's not a big deal. Okay. Of course, we are going to start by drawing the sky. Just using the HB pencil, give it a light to medium value so that we can draw some clouds in there if we want. Some people say you don't have to fill in a value for the sky when you draw, and of course you don't have to. You could just make every part of the cloud darker than the bright value of the piece of paper, then it would be visible as well. But I think it's cool to have the bright areas of the clouds really stick out as they are lighter than the sky. Okay. Just filling that in, the entire area right here above the horizon. Getting a little darker up at the top. And I've got a couple of dark spots right here. Oh, I can wipe those away. I thought my pencil lead has made some dark marks in here. But it hasn't. It was just, I think, some rest of the eraser. Okay, let's not get caught up too much in drawing the sky. Let's switch to the smudging tool and make it smooth. Get rid of the line structure. Just start at the top again and go across the entire scene. That's good enough, I think, right there. Okay. Now, let's draw a cloud. Start a little bit to the left of the middle, and then just make circular motions in one direction. I'm going to the right here, because I want some buildings to be right here on the right side. And if I draw the cloud like this right here, then it's going to overlap with the buildings. And remember, creating sections that overlap is one of the core elements for creating three-dimensional drawings and paintings. If you just place things next to each other, it's going to look like you drew or painted them all just on a flat plane. Okay. I think we've had the shadow coming from the top left the last couple of drawings. So today I'll have the sunlight come from the top right. First I'm going to draw the shadow area of this cloud down here. Maybe extend it a little bit in there, make the lower area a bit larger, like so. And then go into the side by making C-shapes using those circular outlines that I just erased with the eraser as a point of orientation where the shadows would be. To the left side of all of those volumes, there's going to be a shadow. A little bit more of a shadow right here, since this entire area is turned away from the sun. And then a couple of shadows right there, in here, maybe up there, and coming in from down here, and just a little bit on the right side right here. On the inside of this shape, maybe like so. Okay, then I'll use the smudging tool and gently go across the lower area of the cloud and pull some of the graphite into the side area to create a transition from the lower side of the cloud to the side that faces us. Next, I'm going to grab some graphite of each of those C-shapes that I made and drag it a little bit into the brighter area. To also create a transition, make this cloud nice and smooth, nice and fluffy. Right there. Okay. Now I need to lay out a couple of buildings. And somebody tuned into the stream. Hello there. I hope you like what you're going to see, what's going to develop in front of your eyes. So what I'm trying to do is one vanishing point for the street is going to be right down there. And maybe I'll indicate just very lightly the edge of that, of the top of the buildings right there. And that's going to be the lower end of the buildings. And then to the other side, the buildings are going to be laid out like this, a little more flat. Going maybe to this point right here, or let's say that's the edge of the pavement, and then we've got the well, that would have to be the properties that start right there. Okay, let's have the same thing right here. That's about as wide as on the other side. The pavement would be right here. And then say some front gardens. I don't know. Maybe up to this point. And then I just draw in where the buildings are going to be. Let's just say we are going to have 3 buildings right there. I don't want to overdo it. Maybe 1 building right here, 1 is right there, and then the next one is right here. And for this building, I'll use the 2-point perspective since I want it to be rotated. So 1 vanishing point I'll just set right here at the edge of the building on the horizon line, and the top is going to be up here. So that's 1 edge of the shape. Oh wait, now this is just outside of the pavement. There's no front garden here, but let's just take it that way. Let's just go with that. Hold on a second. That's not going to work out though, since I won't be able to get a rotation then. So I'll have to put the lower edge of the building right here at this point, and then it vanishes towards the point right here, and the other side is going to vanish towards a point somewhere way out there to the left side. Okay, now this upper area is going to vanish to that point as well. Okay, let's have this area. So this is the front area for the building. Then we've got the next building right here and the next one right there. For those, the front is just a rectangle. Those horizontal and vertical areas don't vanish to any point in the 1-point perspective. And the same is going to be right here. Let's say we've got this front of the building right here, the front that faces the street, and that means we've got the same front right here, and then the side of it vanishes, doesn't vanish, or it disappears behind the other building right there with horizontal lines, and then the next one behind it over there has got the same thing going on, just disappearing behind the building in front of it. So this is our basic layout, and I start with the basic shadows of those shapes. The faces of the buildings pointing towards us are going to have a sort of mid-value. So I'll use the HB pencil for that and give them a rather dark value that the HB pencil can produce. So those areas stick out against the very much brighter sky. Like so. This one right here. Let's cross-hatch it the other direction as well, horizontally and vertically, to make this area as homogeneous as possible, with not too many lines visible in there. Okay, now we've got this part right here. Let's go across as well. And this very left side here faces the street, so it's going to be darker. But we've got this area remaining. Just filling that in. Then going across as well. Let's go down once more, since I still have a lot of lines in here. I'm not gonna get rid of all of them, but maybe make them a little bit more obscure. Okay. Now I'm going to erase the sky out of those areas right here, since I imagine those walls to have a finish of plaster that's just white. So with the sunlight, that's going to be much brighter than the sky. And over to the right side, we've got the faces of the buildings pointing away from the sun. So I'll use the 3B pencil and make those areas right here rather dark. Give them a shadow value. Try and get the lines as straight as possible. Okay. Just filling that in for now. And of course, I made the outlines very dark, so I'll have to make the area within very dark as well, as dark as the outlines. Roughly like this. And then let's go to the last one, right here to the right. Vanishing out here. Okay, and then fill it in as well. trying to get it all to have the same value. It's much darker on the left right here, so I try to make it all the same at the right side as well. Just a tad bit darker. Okay, maybe like so. Right there, just a little bit more. Okay. Now I'll have to think about the roofs of those buildings. I don't want them to be flat. Let's experiment with that a little bit. Maybe going in the middle right here, we've got a roof like this. Then the upper area is going to vanish to the left right there. Maybe like so. This looks a bit at a weird angle. Maybe that's more straight. Okay. The roof of this building is going to be at another angle. Let's say there's a balcony up there. So it would start right here. And then there's another area right here where the inclination changes. Maybe it would look like that. Okay, so then this area right here is in the shadow, one of those mid-value shadows right there. And the right front is going to be very bright again. This area right here would be even brighter than the rest, but since I've left the right faces of the buildings completely blank, I can't make it any brighter. Okay. And then this one down here, maybe has a roof like the one in the front. Maybe like so. This one maybe faces that way. And this one as well. Let's not overcomplicate it. Maybe like so. Okay. Now I want there to be some trees in the gardens that are going to stick out above the buildings, since they are going to be quite a bit taller than those 2 or 3-story buildings. So I'll take the HB pencil and just above those houses draw in a couple of leaves, maybe like so. Maybe something's poking out right here on this side. Also overlapping with the cloud right there. Maybe there's a third one right here. Maybe it's in front of this building. Between those two. Let's make this a large one. Maybe it is about twice as tall as this building next to it. So it's going to stick out all the way over here, reaching the left edge of the drawing of the scene. So I'll just fill in this entire area with the leaves. Gotta fill it in right here as well. Okay, and then switch to the 3B pencil to create some shadows. In here, all those lower areas are going to have some shadows. And the left areas as well. The left parts of the trees are going to be in the shadow. Some shadows in the middle and some poking over to the right, but most usually to the left right there. Okay, now let's get some features into those buildings, shall we? A couple of windows, maybe some tiles on the roofs. Yeah, maybe. I just indicate a door in here, and there's a window and another one up here, and then just some rough cross-hatching for the structure of the tiles back in here. Then maybe we've got some more windows in here. Up there is where the dormitory is going to be. People are going to sleep up there, but they need some light as well. So there are some windows in here. And then this balcony has got a railing. That's mostly just a wall, but up on top of that wall there's a very small railing, just like this. Okay, let's have another window in here, and we're going to see the left side of it, so it would be lighter than this wall. And this eraser is way too thick to erase a very thin area of the wall, but maybe if I give it an outline, you can see that there's a window there, and to the left we can see a bit of the wall. Now let's give the window pane a little bit of a reflection, maybe up in there as well, up here. Okay. And let's add another window right down here, and maybe another one right above it. Wait, that's not going to align with the floors of the building. Let's put one window in there like this. Maybe like so. Erase that surface so we can have some reflection in there as well. And this left area of the wall we can see, so it's light since it's turned towards the sunlight. The lower area up here is very dark in the shadow, and then we're going to have some reflections in here. Okay, now there's a door over here, so we see this area of the wall, and then we can see the upper area of the wall right there. Okay, for the next part, this house right here in the front, let's first put on some tiles on the roof. Those are oriented downwards like so. And then there's some sort of a wavy structure. Maybe a little bit like so. Gotta make this completely parallel. And also make it vanish towards that vanishing point far off in the left. Let me see if I can pull that off. It's not going to be perfect. Oh, those waves were rather flat right there. But okay. Now those parts that are lifted up to the right towards the sunlight are going to be bright. So let me erase a couple of highlights in here. And then get in a couple of shadows, maybe like so. Or to the left of those waves. Not the best tiles I've ever drawn, but I think it comes across. Now I'll have to think about something to put in here. Let's say there's a door to this building right here. So we'll have a shadow that has the width of the wall, and we can see the lower part of the wall right here, up above the door. Let's give it an outline to the left just to set it apart from the rest of the wall of the building. And then maybe in this front door there are some glass panes. Maybe like so. Give them a reflection. A little bit like this. Now we can do the same thing with a window right here to the right of the wall. And then we've got the second story up here. Let's just put in a window right there, up here, that goes all the way to the left. Again, a shadow area right here, and an even darker shadow area up there. Wait, still need the shadow in here. Give it a little outline, and then a reflection. A reflection up here. Okay. Maybe a little round window up there. We can see this side of the wall, and then again a reflection in the window pane. Now I want this window to continue on this front side of the building. There's just a beam right here in the construction that holds everything together. But then this window up in the second story continues over there, maybe all the way to outside of the frame. So all we can see is this upper area of the wall right there. And it's pointed towards the ground, so it's not hit by a lot of sunlight, so it's got one of the darkest shadow values. Now let me erase an area for the window pane. Maybe there's a beam in the window right here. The window's got two segments that can be opened separately. And then we go in with a reflection. Let's use the 7B pencil for that to make it darker than this wall at the side of the building, to separate it visually from the wall. Okay, for each window pane, some reflections in there. I just go across like this, diagonally, leaving some blank areas, some blank lines. Okay. The next thing I have to do is just to add some structure up here, add some more tiles to those roofs. Maybe like so. A little bit of a highlight in here. Okay. Now let's go get the details in those right buildings. I'll have to erase quite a bit of those dark values. Let's put a window in here, and maybe we don't even see the door. It's going to have a dark edge up here, and then some reflections in there. Now right here, we've got a door in there. So once again, I'll erase a part of the wall that has the width of the wall. Maybe it's a little slimmer, maybe like this. And we can see just a little bit of the wall up there. And let's get in a couple of windows. Let's have one up here and another one up in here. It's quite difficult to erase rectangular shapes with this eraser, but I'll try my best. Shadows up here. A little area for the wall, and then some reflections that I'll draw with the 7B pencil again to set this window pane apart from the dark side of the building. Same right here. Maybe like so. And then we've got this one in the front right here. Let's say the door is right there. The upper area of the wall is right here. And then maybe just an outline like this. Then I have to erase this area down here where the door is cut out of the wall. Well, there's quite a lot of wall left up here. Let me put in a window in there, maybe a large one. We've got a lot of space here. The upper and lower edge of the window vanish towards the vanishing point right here in the middle of the road. Just erase the entire area right there. Pick off the eraser residue. Thanks for the like on the stream. Thank you very much. It really does encourage me. Okay. Now we've got the upper area of the window again. It's going to be dark right here. And the left area, maybe I'll get this a little bit more straight, maybe like so. Then I can indicate the width of the wall right here, maybe just with a line down there like this. Let's extend it again. Okay, and then go in with some reflections in there. Connect those diagonal lines to the side of the wall. Okay. Now we've just got the pavement left. So we see the edge of the pavement right here. This area is pointing away from the sunlight, so it's going to be dark. And right here it's pointing towards the sunlight, so it's going to be very light. So I just draw the outlines of it right here. And then the rest of the road and the pavement is going to be darker, of course. I'll just put this in with the HB pencil, just so that it has a value. Just filling all this entire area of the street in. Just so that this light area sticks out as a light area that is hit by the sun. Maybe go across like this. And then we've got this left area, the left pavement right here. Okay, now all that's missing are the areas in between the buildings. And I think there are going to be small gardens, a little bit of grass growing in there. So I think the grass is going to be a little darker than the gray tiles on the pavement. So I'll use the 3B pencil to just go in with a dark value in there, and I'll go horizontally to make just some uneven terrain. And make the terrain go out of the frame to the left, and then fill in the rest like so. And now let's draw in some blades of grass right here in front, where we are maybe close to enough to see them. Back here in the distance, we're not going to be able to make out the blades of grass, so I'm not going to draw them in, but just in here, in the very front, we're going to see a bit of grass, a bit of detail in it. And we've got another viewer popping in. Hello there. How's it going? Hope you've got a great evening. And I hope you like what you see. We've had quite a few people popping in and out today, and I'm quite happy about that. So somehow YouTube does show what I'm doing right here to the people out there. All right. Just a couple of lines of grass down here. Going over there, down there, getting a little bit larger as we approach the point from where we are spectating. Give the grass a little bit of a structure to stand on. I feel like otherwise it mostly looks like it's floating. So I just give it a line below it as a little bit of a structure in the ground. Down here, and maybe down here as well. All right. That's it for today. I think I'm done with this scene. So let me clean up those edges. Just going along the side of the scene with the eraser. To make the edge of the scene as straight as possible. And up here, over there, let me maybe switch to my left hand so I don't cover everything with my arm. You're supposed to be seeing what I do here after all. Okay. And now the lower area right here. We go across this once. Right there. All right. Hello there. You've tuned in just as I finished this drawing. I'm going to show it to you in a second, once I've gotten rid of this eraser residue right here. Okay, just wiping that off. There you go. Put this in the middle, maybe like so. All right. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you've got something out of it. Some entertainment, some motivation to draw yourself. Maybe you've got some inspiration through the motif or my very lackluster technique, and you want to try something out as well. Maybe try and draw something in perspective, just as I did today. Or maybe you got some other work done and used the content just as ASMR in the background. That's totally fine by me. I think it's cool that people tune in and have a look at what I do and maybe get something out of it. So, if you find yourself coming back to the channel and liking what I do, please consider subscribing, leaving a like on the stream or on the VOD if you watch it later. Okay, with all that said, thank you once more for being here. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.